I'm so happy to see you today. And for this second video, as you might have seen with the title, I'm going to talk about a hot take. It's one of the paper I wrote and I'm going to comment on it because I'm the writer, I'm the artist, and I said what I said. But I wanted to talk about this paper, which is called Yes, I'm Black, but it's not that deep, leave me alone. Because I think no one really talks about it and I don't understand why. I think we should open the discussion actually. As I said in the paper, this is not me running away from my blackness, it's just me being me. I'm not revolutionary, I'm not Malcolm X. If I had to be Malcolm X or Luther, I think I'll be way more Luther. Not in the sense I disagree with his method, but I'm just like, I don't know, I'm too cold for this shit. And I think if I think the way I think, other black girls might think the same. So be open and let's go into the paper. Being a biracial black girl growing up in an Occidental country does shape you. I'm a French black girl. France is all I ever known. Even though my parents have different backgrounds, from my mother's side I'm Reunionese and Cameroonians from my father's. I'm also 100% French. From my education to my heritage, there is nothing Cameroonian about me. Don't ask me what my last name means. I have no clue. As I am Reunionese too, and Reunion Island is a French department, even if I think the government see it as a colonial island and not as a department of France. I know the history and tradition more than my father countries. The transmission has been passed down a little bit more on this side. I remember growing up in a traditional French family where we were eating at the same place at the same hour in front of the television watching the news. On a daily basis, we were eating French dishes. Reunionese and Cameroonian dishes are too long to make. They were reserved for the special occasion. In my home, we were only speaking French. My father mostly spoke his dialect with his family. My mother only spoke Creole when she was mad. To put the record straight, my father always made sure I knew the history of black people, from slavery to important black figures. I'm not ignorant at all. Solely when it comes to my origin, I have no clue, and it's laughable. And on the weekend with my mother, we were visiting monuments. She introduced me to the culture I am so fond of now. My favorite museum used to be Musée du Quai Branly, aka the Museum of Art and Civilization of Africa, Asia, Oceania, and Americas, because it was a part of me, because it was weird. Weird as something a child of 6 years old isn't used to seeing. Weird as fascinating, weird as cool. So, long story short, I grew up French, with little to no attached to my origins. I was fine, just like that. Even now, I don't feel like something is missing within me. The erratic disconnection started at my earlier teenage years, when I met people of my age starting to be vocal about how proud they were to be black. When they started asking me where I was come from in Cameroon, what was my tribe, what language they spoke, I couldn't answer. The shame of a 12 years old girl being uneligible. End of the world, ignominy of the peers. Earlier in my life, I did 2 years of jazz African dance, whatever that means, with a white teacher. I never questioned it. I never thought it was odd. I also did classical dance. I was the only black girl. Although I was aware of it, I never felt different from the other kids. Then, at the age of 13, I discovered Lana Del Rey and my life changed. And I do talk about it a lot in my paper, my biggest inspiration, that you can find on Substack. So if you are interested in it, go see it. It's free. This paper is quite interesting. As you can notice, I don't have a single black model in it. The representation that black girls have now wasn't the same back then, and I say that when I'm truly just 25. I build my very peculiar taste as in a very accurate reflection of the world. Black inspiration in the background, white face on the front. All those things happen in a way I didn't choose it. I was a child. It shaped me and made me quite different, unworldly and unbothered. I wasn't really black. I do remember when my best friend told me that. Of course, this accusation hurts you when you are in a developing age. Not that much when you know who you are, which luckily was more or less my case. My parents always made sure I knew I was black, but also more than just black. I am so grateful for that. My blackness doesn't define me. I will not let anyone define me because my existence is mine, all mine, and it is not political. You can try as hard as you can to put me in a box, I will escape it. I still wonder, what does it mean to be black? I do get this sense of community. It is nice to not have to explain that you are wearing dreads and it's not your real hair. Somehow it is because you bought them and they are meant to protect your real hair. But what if you are black and neither proud or nor ashamed of it? What if this is how it is? You like it that way and you wouldn't change for a dime. To be honest, you might disintegrate me or hear it. This is why I like Candy Owens. Don't get me wrong, I disagree with her political views 100%. However, I think she's a good example of a black woman who doesn't let her skin color define who she is. A shitty human being. It is also another good example of the question why you don't do groups. I will like you for you. I have a hard time liking a whole group of people for what they represent. I don't want to be seen or heard because of what I could embody. I find that so diminishing, which doesn't mean I don't support the cause they represent. Of course, I will always speak up against LGBTQA+, phobia, racism, classism, feminism, but it's not because you are a trans poor black girl that I will like you. Everyone should live their life as they intend to and be respected as any other form of life, human life. The bar is so low, so I try to uplift it. I sound so stupid writing this. It is common sense, critical thinking, but it is disappearing. So I have to clarify it. As you may know, I avoid echo chamber at all costs. And I wrote a paper about that. It's called The Time I Was Harassed on Pinterest. It's about how critical thinking is disappearing and why it is disappearing. Nowadays you say one thing and people don't think. And that's something that bothers me actually. With that, sometimes I may appear as someone who is completely detached from reality because I am the original lucky girl. But I still care about us a lot. I don't have the right words to be an activist. So others do the talking for me. And whenever there's a manifestation for human rights, I'll go. I don't say free Congo, Palestine, or Yemen. I don't talk about the obvious. Moreover, I learned to not talk about subjects I don't control well. Therefore, I will tell you about the sickening way we treat animals. And in this paper, I linked a Substack of a girl named Camille. Her point of view was so on point. I always agree with what she has to say and I really like her. We talked about that and she actually, the conversation we had gave me the idea of writing a whole paper about it and give my 2 cones to the conversation. Every perspective is needed and I'm not putting my blackness at the forefront. Doesn't equal being ashamed of it. It's just me doing me. And I know there's millions of girls just like me, so this piece is for us. The end of the paper. I think I'm quite clear. I want to deep dive even more on some things that I said. At the beginning of the paper, I'm also 100% French, from my education to my heritage. My heritage here is not material, it's more about the values, liberty, equality, fraternity, also the concept of secularism. And I think it's really important for me to specify that because French people, black French people who are born in France, who are French but also black, have a very different point of view from their country in general. I think some of them are more close to their native origin country than I am. I grew up and I've been educated by the French system, so therefore I'm going to think like them. There's nothing Cameroonian about me. It's very funny because the more I think about it, the more it is true. There's so many things that I disagree with the way my father wanted me to be in terms of education and in terms of like path of life. I do remember one day he told me that life is you study, you find a work, you get married, and then you have children, and then you have fun. And I disagree so much with that, but this is his point of view because that's how he was raised. He left Cameroon when he was 18, and our lives are so different, and I think we will never truly understand each other because of that. How could I understand my origin if I don't even understand the one who put those origin like here? I don't know how to explain it. I'm so bad at talking, guys. That's why I write. We need to talk about Lana Del Rey. She raised me in a way. And when you are raised by Lana Del Rey, if you know, you know. If you know, you know. It's just truly question of the culture. She's not a feminist, but she is. She will not say she is a feminist because I think she doesn't feel like she fits into those categories of what the world see feminist as, but she truly is. And I think it's just the same with me. Like, I'm black, but I'm not going to say, oh, I'm black. Did you know I'm black? Oh, not like that, but like, I'm not going to put any like flag in my view. The flag that I use is the French flag. My inspiration are inspired by black people, but I'm black, so I feel like it's a full circle moment somehow. I don't know. Do I say shit right now? Stop me if I do. So I never felt like a real black person because I don't listen to traditional music and I'm not a part of the culture at all. And as my best friend said when I was 16, when she said that, something like that, it hurts because I am, but I understand that she doesn't see me as so, because at the time it was very categorized. If you were not like, I don't know, here I think it's more baddies. If you're not baddies, you're not black, but it doesn't mean anything. You can be you. Trust me, you can. About Candice Owens, I found her very brave, to be honest. I found her very brave to think that she's one of the others, because I don't think I'm one of the others, and I think this is the biggest difference I have with her. I don't like belittle other people. I don't do that. I think she's weird and a bitch. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. And I don't do groups because the people that I know that are like more conservative, they're not bad people. And that's the weirdest thing. That's why I don't do groups, because you can be very surprised. There's something within them that tells me they are good people, and I see it and I know that and I feel it. The conservative people that I know don't care. They just don't care, and they're weird. Honestly, guys, I'm so confused. You think you're confused? I'm fucking confused. I think that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe. I see you soon, next week. J'ai peur. I'm so scared to say that and then not be able to do it. Anyway. Peace.